Come on. Get in here. Come on. Waiting for you. Everybody get in here. We need you. Come in. Come in here. Come on in. Get in here. Grab a drink. Get in here. We need you. And we're going to spend some time together. Grab a drink. Get in here. We got a couple of minutes before we're going to get started. We got 2 minutes to grab a drink. Come on, get in here. Get in here. We need you. It's going to be fun. Get in here. We're going to fix some stuff tonight. Get in here. Grab a drink. I had somebody who came by who watched us yesterday, and they said, I watched your video. It was super helpful, and I didn't grab a drink, and it ruined my day. So get a drink. Grab a drink. Get your favorite beverage. You got 1 minute. Come on, get in here. Get in here. We're going to change our lives tonight. Get in here. We got to fix our soul. Get in here. All right. We got 30 seconds until we're going to take a sip together. Grab a drink. You got 30 seconds. Just waiting for people to get in here. We had a couple hundred people watch this yesterday. And so we want to take a sip together, a drink together. We want to have a moment of cheers. At 8:02 we'll do it. By my clock it's 8:01 in 40 seconds. All right, here we go. That's enough time. If you got a drink, this one's for you. Cheers. I'm drinking coffee. Now some of you are saying, isn't it a little late for coffee? Not first thing in the morning, and not if it's decaf. So, today, let's talk about your soul. Let's talk about your soul and the thing that might be the most important obstacle to a deep, vibrant spirituality. And that's the concept here of forgiveness. So we're talking about forgiveness, and we got our whiteboard here, as always. Forgiveness, in my time helping people experience deep spiritual life, great inner freedom, and a meaningful connection with God, is the number one issue that people have, that they get hung up on. Especially when it comes to the person who's hurt you the most. So I want to start tonight with a little bit of a story. A little less than a week ago, I met with somebody who was a part of our church. And she had gone out for a bachelorette party. And she went home, and she told me after, she's like, I had too much to drink. But on her way home, she was waiting for her car ride home. And all of her friends had left. And as she was waiting, a man came up to her and grabbed her and said, I'm going to help you get home. And he dragged her off to his car. And the next morning, she woke up in his bed doing stuff she never wanted to do. And she said, how do I get healthy after this? How do you get healthy when you wake up in the bed of a stranger who forced you to come home with them? And the answer is this: it's forgiveness. And when Jesus, he talked about forgiveness all the time. And Jesus, when he talked about forgiveness, he said, it is the key roadblock to a deep spiritual life and connection with God. Jesus, when he was asked by his first followers how to pray, how to connect with God, one of the things he talked about is this. He said, you tell God to forgive you in the way that you've forgiven others. And then after he's done teaching them how to pray, he actually emphasizes it again, and he says this. He says, if you do forgive people, your Father in heaven, God, the Father of your soul, he will forgive you. And then he gives a warning, and he says, but if you do not forgive others when they wrong you, neither will your Father in heaven forgive you. So here's Jesus' promise, that if you begin to cultivate a life of forgiveness, then you will live a life deeply connected to God, a life free from shame, and a life with ever-lessening guilt. So we're going to talk tonight, how do you do that? How do you functionally forgive people? So I want to give you a couple of tools when it comes to forgiveness. And then we're going to, at 8:10, we're going to try it out. Okay? So the first thing you need to do when it comes to forgiveness, you need to name You need to name both the person who wronged you, if you have their name, and then also you need to name the offense. What did they do to you? So, for instance, I've dealt with people who've experienced abuse in their past, and oftentimes they can name the person who hurt them. It could be their mom or their dad or a sibling. It could be a friend, whomever. They can name who it is, but they really struggle to name what happened to them. The offense, the thing that's locked up in their soul that's keeping them in bitterness. So you got to be able to actually name what happened to you. So again, some people who get abused, they will rationalize. They'll go, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't really abuse. And because they never name the offense, they're never able to get free. So you got to name the person, and then you got to name what they did, and the more specific and the more honest, the better. The second part is this. You got to, so step one, name. Number two is you got to frame it out. So what I mean by that is you need to go, what was the cost to you? Like, what did you lose? What was the pain you endured? Now, often there's this phenomenon where we will, somebody will hurt us, and we go, I gotta forgive, I gotta let him go. I gotta let him go. And so, what happens is we'll throw up to the universe. Again, I'm using that language for those of you who are outside of faith. When you do that, I think you're actually connecting with God, particularly with Jesus. I'm Christian. But you will throw up a little like forgiveness prayer. Now, I forgive them. And what happens is this. A day later, we'll find ourselves still like angry with the person, resentful of the person. We still know that we need to forgive them. So what is going on when that happens? And here's the big idea. If we don't frame out properly the cost, it's impossible to forgive the hurt. So, we can have like a bathtub full of pain that some people can give us, and we'll take a coffee cup worth of forgiveness and try to scoop out the pain in one shot. And the problem is it just won't do. So we got to frame out what the cost was. Number three is this. You've got to engage your heart. This one's particularly hard for men. So sometimes we got to feel what the cost was, and we got to feel the pain that we went through. So again, if you struggle with this, like I do, to actually connect emotionally when you've been hurt, one of the things I do is I just ask for help. So I go, God, would you help me actually experience the emotional loss so that I can forgive from the heart? Not just from the mind, but from the heart. So often what I'll do is, when I'm going to a place of forgiving somebody, I will name exactly what they did. So I go, when you lied about me, it made me feel disgusting or ashamed or an embarrassment, whatever. You got it. When you did blank, it made me feel blank. So I'll write that out for you. This was super helpful in engaging the heart. So when you're going to forgive somebody, often people need to forgive their parents. It's a huge one that people need to forgive. Usually if you can't forgive your parents, often for stuff that was early on in your childhood, you will stay bitter with them and you will miss out on a relationship you could have had. But when you listen, so when you did this, it made me feel this. Again, be specific, very important. And you list out all of the losses and all the stuff you're going to forgive this person for. Then, number 4, you're going to forgive them. This is a choice. I find it helpful to do it out loud. So in a prayer is just speaking to God and listening for his voice. So again, even if you don't know, if you trust in Jesus at all, some of you listening, you won't know. What I would encourage you to do is actually put Jesus to the test and say, if this works, I want in. But what you might say something like this, and I'll use a real life example and demonstrate, and then we'll do it together. There's this guy who has been slandering me publicly online. He's made up like false accusations. He's tried to get me fired from my job. He says that everything I do is useless and that I've got a giant ego. And the weird part is I don't even know this guy. When I went to forgive him, I'll pick a fake name for him. I'll call him Liam. I had to say out loud, God, I forgive Liam for making me try to lose my job, for lying about me, for trying to bring shame on me. And it made me feel horrible. It made me feel angry. It made me feel pissed off. And so I had to go through all this. And what was the cost? It wasted my time. It wasted my life. It could hurt my reputation. I named the person. I named the offense. And then I had to do the last part and the hardest part. The hardest part of forgiveness, and this is probably the best key, and you're going to hate it. You're going to hate it, is this. You need to bless the person. Now, blessing is this. Asking Jesus, asking God as best you can understand, to do for them what you want in your life that would make sense for theirs. So, for instance, I want to have a meaningful life. So I was praying for this Liam fellow that his life would be filled with meaning. I want to have all of my needs taken care of. So I was praying for his needs. If he has financial needs, I'm asking God to bless him financially. And I'm praying for stuff that he doesn't deserve. Now, you might be saying, why would you do this? And how come it works spiritually? How does it strengthen your soul? And here's how. It strengthens your soul because Jesus most clearly demonstrates this, that at the very heart of God he is one who forgives. He is one who is hurt by us, by you and by me. And at the very center of his heart, he longs to forgive everything you've ever done wrong. Every ounce of guilt he wants to take away from you, every ounce of shame that you or I carry, he wants to wipe away. That's the heart of God. And so when we do what he does, we connect easily with him. So, are you ready to try? Are you ready to try? So I want you to take 30 seconds, and you might say a simple prayer. Again, if you're not in faith, you can do this. It works. Trust me, and it will connect you to God who is out there. But no, just take 15 seconds and pray a prayer and think as well and go, God, who do I need to forgive tonight? Who do I need to forgive so I can be free? Think of them. And then name what they did to you. Name what it is that they did to you. And then measure the cost. What did you lose? The more specific, the better. And you need to engage the heart. So again, you might need to ask God to help you with this. But it's helpful to actually say out loud, when you, Liam, lied about me, it made me feel like I could lose everything. When he tried to get me fired for no reason, it enraged me because I felt powerless. Just list it out, frame it out. I'll give you a few seconds to do that. And now we're going to move to the part, and you can do this at home. You can do it in your head and your heart if you're in a public space, but if you're at home, you can do this out loud. You're going to forgive this person. So use a simple prayer like this. Today, I choose to forgive Liam. And then you're going to move to the hardest part of all. You're going to bless him. So again, blessing is things you'd love to see in your life happen in theirs. That would make sense for them. So I'll demonstrate. Father, I ask that you would bless Liam's life, that his marriage would be strong, that he'd have a secure financial hope. And Lord, that there would just be great freedom in his life. So, God, would you bless him? So, that's the tutorial on forgiveness. I hope this helps you all. A lot of us get stuck here, and it can really, really help us connect with God. So, anyways, hope this video was helpful for you. Hope it helps you with tools you can use to strengthen your soul, because God cares deeply about you. Anyways, hope you have a great night. Hope you're staying safe. We'll touch base soon. See you tomorrow.